Polygroups are a very valuable working method inside of ZBrush. One of the ways that we can create some polygroups, as of right now this is one polygroup. One of the ways that we can create polygroups are with masks. So we can hold Control and paint an area with a mask, and then we can change this into a new polygroup by hitting Control W, and you see that our mask is now changed into a polygroup. Okay, so some of the things we can do with this polygroup is we basically can use this as a selection of that entire group. One of the ways that we could really take advantage of this, I'm going to go ahead and close out this, and I'm going to open up my brushes. I'm going to move over here to auto masking, and up here at the very top where it says mask by polygroups, it's set to 0, but if I pull that all the way up to 100, and I'm going to change my tool to move, and this works with any tool, change my size up really big so I have a larger affected area. So when I change this auto masking to 100% polygroups, the very first polygroup that I select on, it's basically going to isolate this brush to that polygroup. So if I select this polygroup we just made and click, you can see that it'll pull that polygroup. If I make my brush a little smaller, click to the outside here and pull, you can see that it's not affecting the polygroup we made around the eye. Okay, so that's very powerful. The other thing that we can do with polygroups, I'm going to go ahead and undo this, is turn on symmetry and make my brush a little smaller, a little tighter, and I'm going to paint some eyes or eye sockets here, and then I'm going to use this. Go ahead and Control W, makes my polygroup, and I'm going to click on Geometry, go to Z-Remesher, and I'm going to Z-Remesh this, and I'm going to click on Keep Groups, turn my target count down, hit the Z-Remesh. You should see a circular polygrouping inside. So you can kind of control how your polygons are going to flow with this Z-Remesher. There you go. So we can see some pretty good edge loops in here, and we have more control. So I'm going to go back, and before I do all this, remember we had the polygroups, and you understand how to hide objects with the Control Shift, and you draw a lasso, wouldn't hide. Also with polygroups, if you Control Shift click the polygroup, it will hide everything that is not this specific polygroup. So I'm going to click to the outside, I'm going to click the head, and now I'm going to mask a new area that I want to be polygrouped. And across like that. Control W, there's a brand new polygroup. I'm going to unmask everything. I'm going to Control Shift click the head again. This time I'm just going to mask this area around the front of the mouth. Make sure I get everything. W polygroup. Now you can see I have multiple polygroups here. This time I'm going to draw one around the head, so I'm going to select that, and I'm going to mask a smaller area here around the eyes, or excuse me, around the side of the head here, like that. Bring it on around, Control W, click to the outside. Now I have a lot of masked polygroup areas. I'm going to go back to Z-Remesh, hit Keep Polygroups, click Z-Remesh, and we should see a little bit better edge flow around our face. And so now we've controlled the edge flow around the head. So I'm going to go undo. I'm going to give a couple more rings on the interior of the eyes here. So I'm going to isolate the eyes. I'm going to make a couple more rings in here. Like so. And do one more. Like so. And now Z-Remesh, we should have multiple edge loops inside the eye section here, and which would make it a lot easier to work with. So there we go. We have some edge loops. I'm going to turn this down again, see what we can get. It's a little rough. Go back up one. Hold Shift, kind of smooth out some of that area. And now we can hit Control D a couple of times, and we have a nice smooth face, and we have fairly decent edge flow for sculpting. And then if we wanted to use the lower poly model later on, we could do that as well.